Welcome back to DaBoot Tragedies. As we all know by now, well, if you haven't heard, the Saints did trade Sean Payton yesterday for a first-round pick, a future second-round pick, and also giving up a future third-round pick in the process. Now, we have to talk about what are we going to do with that first-round pick. I've seen a lot of things going around already. Trade for a player, trade up in the draft, trade back in the draft, draft at the spot. So we're going to talk about all the options that the Saints now have, now that they have obtained that first round pick, the number 29 pick in the draft from the Denver Broncos. And the first thing, just take somebody at number 29. Let's look at the draft history from the Saints since Mickey Loomis has been there since 2000. Now, I won't go through every player on this list, but I will, take a look at some highlights and what the Saints have done in the first round. The Saints are a really, really good draft team when it comes to the draft in general, but also in the first round, we've had way more hits than we've had misses. Obviously, it's the first round, so it's going to be a little easier to hit. But I've seen plenty of teams strike out in that first round. We can start off with 2001. Deuce McAllister, obviously a great pick, one of the best running backs in franchise history. Then you got Dante Stallworth, Charles Grant, Jonathan Sullivan, Will Smith, obviously a great pick. Jamal Brown, great pick. Reggie Bush, great pick. Robert Meacham, great pick. All of these guys have been great picks. Malcolm Jenkins, even though he didn't turn out very well with us, he ended up playing pretty good in the NFL career, came back to the Saints. Same with the pick in 2010, Patrick Robinson. Then you get to 2011. Now, we could just go from last decade. You got Cam Jordan. Obviously, that's a Hall of Fame pick. In my opinion, maybe the second best player in Saints history behind Drew Brees. Then you have Mark Ingram, another great pick in the first round. Then you have Kenny Vaccaro, who wasn't awful with the Saints, but he didn't live up to that first round status, in my opinion. Then you got Brandon Cooks, who he ended up trading, but super, super good pick. Really, really good receiver, still playing in the NFL, obviously. Andres Pete, up and down career, but still a solid pick in the first round. I mean, you drafted him in 2015. He's still going to be starting for you in 2023. You count that as a W. Stephon Anthony, we're just going to skip that. That was awful. Hey, it is what it is. You can't hit everything. Sheldon Rankins, another really good pick. Do I think he lived up to that first round expectation? Maybe not, but still a solid football player. Then obviously you got Lattimore, who's on a Hall of Fame track if he can stay healthy and keep playing out there. All-pro cornerback, another great pick. Then you got Ryan Ramczyk, another all-pro type guy at right tackle, one of the best in the business. So the Saints have hit on first round. Now we get to the last 5 to 6 years. This is where it gets dicey. Because you got Marcus Davenport, who we traded to another first-round pick to get him, and he hasn't lived up to that expectation. Maybe if he was taken for just one first-round pick, maybe he'll be okay. But we're probably going to lose him this offseason. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But I can see how, fans have caution with first-round picks after I go through these names. Then you have Cesar Ruiz. Now, great year for him this year. First 2 years, dog shit. Let's be honest. Very, very bad. This year, he was super, super solid. Worked that first-round pick, jury's still out on that. That's how well he played this year, because maybe if he plays like he did this year, then maybe. Peyton Turner, next. Chris Olave, looking well worked it. Obviously, we won't know on these last couple guys because they only played one season. Chris Olave, Trevor Penning, jury's still out on those guys. In the first round. But overall, man, the Saints have drafted great in the first round. So if we were to take somebody in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'll trust Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen, and those guys to make a good pick. Now, it also depends on what position you want to draft. Now, I think we have a lot of team needs. Obviously, quarterback is the glaring hole. Glaring hole is quarterback position. You need a quarterback. Will you take a quarterback at 29? Who knows if one will be there. Also, we need a running back. Will you take a running back at 29? I highly doubt it with Kamara. You need a backup guy. I do think we need a defensive tackle, maybe a defensive end. I can see those positions, being drafted in the first round as well. A safety, if you want to get younger at that position, I can see that as well. I don't really think we can, maybe a tight end if we're feeling crazy. I think Juwan Johnson had a good enough season where we don't need to do that. And I would say a shocker and a sleeper pick is probably receiver, especially if we release Michael Thomas. You got 2 young receivers, Shaid and Olave, but, man, you still need more receivers. Obviously, Callaway and Traquan Smith showed they're just not going to be super, super productive for us. So maybe they draft a receiver. So you have options. And the good thing about that for the Saints is they can take the best player on the board if they want to do that at 29. Because we need so many different players that you don't really have to worry about position. So if we drafted at 29, I would not be upset with that at all. Now, the next option is probably the most fun option, and that's trading a pick. Because when you trade the pick, it can go a multitude of ways. You can trade up in the draft. You can trade back in the draft. You can trade for current players in the NFL at this moment. So let's start off with something that I think will not happen. The Saints trading back in the draft. The Saints are usually aggressive in the NFL draft, so I don't see them trading back. But with the lack of picks in this late first round pick and so many team needs, I can see us moving back. To say we're, the 29th pick in this draft, if we can get 2 early second round picks instead of 1 first round pick, I do think that's better for the team in the long run. So you're getting 2 second round guys. You can add, 2 guys that's at different positions, and they'll probably be just as good as the guy you draft at 29. So if you can end up somehow getting like, the 5th pick in the second round with the 18th or 20th pick in the second round for that first round pick, I would definitely do that in a heartbeat, because now you get 2 guys in the second round that's probably going to be just as good as the guy you got in the first round. I don't think the Saints would do that, but it could be an option. The second option when it comes to trading is moving up in the draft. Now, moving up in the draft is obviously the Saints' bread and butter. They love to move up. We moved up to get Marcus Davenport, moved up to get Chris Olave. The Saints have shown that they would love to move up in the draft. At that 29th pick, it's going to be hard to move up to get a quarterback. I know a lot of people want to move up to get a quarterback, but at that 29th pick, man, if it's not Stroud or Bryce Young, I'm not sure if I'm ready to move up for any other quarterback. Maybe if Anthony Richardson is falling, and you want to move up a couple spots. I haven't really watched tape on him as much as I should have, because we didn't have a first-round pick. So who wants to watch, these quarterbacks when you're not going to have a chance to pick them? Now that we have a first-round pick, I'll definitely dive into some of these quarterbacks. But moving up is a possibility. Also, we got that future second-round pick from the Broncos as well. If you give up this year's first and the Broncos second-round pick from next year, you can probably move up to maybe the 20 range. I think that's about the highest you can, move up. You're not going to move up high in the first round pick without giving up a lot of assets. That's just how that goes. And with the 29th pick, I just don't see moving up to go get a quarterback or somebody that they really want, really a possibility, especially after this trade. This past season, I think the Saints will be kind of hesitant on that front. But you never know. You never know. Now, the most fun thing we can do with this, the most fun thing the Saints can probably do with this pick is to trade for somebody in the NFL right now. Now, obviously, if you're going to trade this 29th pick, it better be for a quarterback. And I've seen Justin Fields' name. I've seen Aaron Rodgers' name. I've seen some names thrown out. Now, I'll just talk about those 2 guys. We should not do this for Aaron Rodgers. First of all, that cap hit is going to be way too much. Don't want to deal with that. Would love to have Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, but just not via trade and not via a first-round pick. A guy that doesn't know if he really wants to play football, that's probably going to threaten to retire, things like that. I just don't want it. Also, I don't even think he's going to respect Pete Carmichael. I'm just going to be honest on that front. Maybe he'll come in and help him, but he probably won't respect him. Next, Justin Fields. Now, this will be a fun option. This will be a fun option if Justin Fields is available. It's been some rumors. I know hasn't really been confirmed that they may be trying to look to package him and maybe take Bryce Young at the number 1 pick. Now, if they're going to do that, hey, we'll come knocking. I would take Justin Fields in a heartbeat over Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. No offense to any of those guys. You give me Justin Fields, I will give you that 29th pick today. Call me, find me, tweet me. If y'all want the 29th pick for Justin Fields, let me know. I know it's probably going to take a little more than that to get Justin Fields. But, man, if Justin Fields somehow became available, take him. Any other player we could trade for, I just don't see it. I just don't see us trading for any other guy, because it's not a guy out there in the NFL that's a non-quarterback that I think is just worth trading for a first-round pick right now. Our team is not Super Bowl ready by any stretch of the imagination, so it just wouldn't make sense to trade for a cornerback. Just an example. Obviously, we don't need one, or like a receiver or something like that. It just wouldn't be like if we traded for DeAndre Hopkins from the Cardinals. Like what is that really going to do for us in the long run if we trade that first-round pick for him? Not really going to do anything for us. We still have Andy Dalton as our quarterback, probably going to win 8 games, and it's just going to be a waste of a trade for a first-round pick. Now, if you get a quarterback, somebody you can build with toward the future, then we're talking a different ball game. The good thing is we have options and we have time. The Saints have nothing but time and nothing but options now that they own a first-round pick and the next year's second-round pick. That's going to give them a lot of ammo in these first couple rounds to play with now. Well, not a lot of ammo, but more than we had. So it's sufficient ammo. If you want to move up, you want to move back, you want to make a player trade, you got some ammo, you got some picks, you got some weapons, and maybe even trade some guys on the team that you're, looking to restructure or cut or something like that. So the Saints are finally in a good position this offseason. Obviously, we got to get under the cap, but we're not worried about that. Saints fans know by now the cap, that's a myth. We're not worried about that. But it is exciting times. Let me know what y'all would do right now. Obviously, opinions can change. My opinion might change. My opinion right now, attempt to get Justin Fields. That's my first thought on with this 29th pick. What should we do? I don't think Justin Fields is going to be available. I think it's just NFL draft smoke and mirrors right now. Everybody's going to be starting rumors and things like that. But if he was available, that would be my first option. Try to go get him, develop him, and see what we can do with that, because obviously he had a really, really good year. Even though they got the number 1 pick, Justin Fields was great for the Bears in my opinion. Still needs to develop as a passer a little bit more, but has a big arm, obviously can run the ball, and it just would be super, super fun to have a quarterback with some potential in a locker room. We haven't had that since 2006, let's be honest. And if we can't do that, honestly, my second choice may be to move back out of the first round and get 2 second-round picks, only if they're 2 early second-round picks. Because, it's basically a second-round pick at number 29 as it is. So if we can get 2 second-round picks out of it, I would love to do that. But we'll see. It's a lot of time. A lot of things are going to happen in between there. We're going to make some cuts, some restructures, and then we'll have a clear image of what the Saints want to do. But Mickey Loomis, the one thing I give him, he have a plan. He got a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, and you can always tell. You can always tell when his plans, and when he's going to his second plan, his third plan. You can always tell. So Mickey Loomis, man, I trust him when it comes to this offseason draft stuff. Trades, we on the fence. He ain't win them all. But hey, we on the fence. But when it comes to the draft, he's usually hitting it head on the nail. That Chauncey Gardner trade is his probably only blemish. Like I said, I'm okay with that Chris Olave trade last year, moving up to go get him. I'm fine with that. They said we gave up the number 10 pick, but who expected us to have the number 10 pick? We all thought we were going to be a playoff team with that defense, etc. That's a different story for a different day. We're not going to talk about that. Positive vibes, man. We got a first round pick. We got a lot of options. Let me know what y'all would do with it, in the comments below. Would y'all trade it? Would y'all just pick at 29? Do y'all got a player in mind already that y'all want? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in once again. It's DaBoot Tragedies, and I'm out.